What's up, you guys? Welcome to Fightful. I'm Ross Sapp. It is December 13th, 2025, and John Cena's career has come to a close. The last time was tonight, and John Cena retired by tapping out to Gunther in the main event of Saturday night's main event. Oh, we got a lot to talk about. We're going to kick off with John Cena's retirement match. Of course, he's going to be a subject of conversation throughout the duration of this show. But if you want to get your question or statement in, super chat or humper chat, you might say, Sean, this is my first time watching. What is a super chat? If you're here on youtube.com/Fightful, where we do nightly post shows, interviews, a lot of cool videos, you can submit a super chat via the little tab in the chat. Or if you're anywhere else, X, Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, anything like that, you can go to humperchats.com. That's HUMPER chats.com. That is hump like a camel's hump or other recreational activities, of which I'm sure we'll speak about later on. You might say, Sean, by God, why would I ever want to ask you a question, you goofy mark? Well, Fightful and FightfulSelect.com break, quite frankly, a vast majority of the news in pro wrestling, including several stories as it relates to tonight's show. I encourage you, subscribe to FightfulSelect.com. Lock in that year-long price before those prices go up. Support original coverage, but let's talk about John Cena's last match. Let's talk about his retirement and John Cena's career on top of that. I want to hear from you guys. I want to know like how you all are feeling about this. I want to know what it is that you all expected to see compared to what you did see. Did you feel satisfied? Did you feel happy, sad? Do you think it was appropriate after all this time that John Cena taps out? Ready to hear from you guys. This show is presented by MyBookieAG. Please bet responsibly and only bet what you can. They will be our exclusive odds provider for tonight and every night, including the fact that Gunther was, in fact, a favorite over John Cena. Now, you can get a $50 bonus when you use our MyBookie link in the description below with a $100 deposit, or get a $100 bonus with a $200 deposit. You can bet on anything, anytime, anywhere. I've had a great amount of luck betting against my Cincinnati Bengals this year, but Gunther was the favorite, and for good reason. Gunther won. He beat John Cena in this retirement match, and preceding the match, they had all kinds of celebrities around, and even like sending in videos, like Peyton and Eli Manning sent in videos. You had Snoop Dogg saying that he was going to light one up or smoke one for John Cena. You had a ton of wrestlers there. That was a thing that Fightful Selected reported. There were a lot of people that were in town for this specifically. Were not booked on the show or anything like that. There were a lot of people that missed out on it. A lot of people, a lot of the top stars were actually overseas in Saudi Arabia doing promotion for the Royal Rumble, which, you know, it's kind of a bummer when you see that Randy Orton was over there. And it's like, man, would have really liked to have seen Randy Orton there paying homage. As our friend Prinny May says, everyone's childhood just ended. Well, John Cena was not my childhood. It was sort of my teen years. So I mean, I guess I did start watching him technically as gosh, I was a young teenager then. It just doesn't feel like it because I really enjoyed the early John Cena, the Doctor of Thugonomics, all that. I think that the simultaneous runs that he and Batista had to the title were honestly some of the last great creative that Vince McMahon had. There were other flashes here and there, but to me, those were two of the last builds that resulted in something very creatively satisfying for Vince McMahon. I felt like that was sort of like the definitive end of his run because both of them were very good. But as I was in college, like this one is sentimental and emotional to me because I lived with my grandmother when I was in college, or I would go back there, and I lost her last year. And she loved John Cena because I didn't love John Cena. She was a troll at heart, and she loved cheering for who I didn't like, and she really liked John Cena. Big fan of Cena. So that's what I always think of whenever he comes back. And there are so many people that have these sentimental connections to John Cena, especially our younger audiences. Like there are people that were sending in chats and Q&A stuff, and they were like, you know, when you're young, you just consume and enjoy the winner. You're the front runner as a kid. That's how it largely is. And a lot of people grew up on John Cena. A lot of the people that now have disposable income and are paying for tickets are John Cena fans, but it's not just limited to that. Like I never got it, but you would see a whole lot of people, whole lot of grown ass men with their jorts on, with their John Cena shirt on, with their hat on, their armbands on, the towel in the back pocket. There was, honest to God, a guy that my friend T Mac worked with, and there would just be days he would dress he would just dress like that, man. I didn't get it. I still don't get it. As I wear an honorary Cincinnati Reds throwback jersey, shout out Bip Roberts. I never quite got that, but you know what? A whole lot of other people did. That man moved merch at a, quite frankly, I don't want to say a dead period in WWE, but I can't imagine what it would be if he weren't there. Now, there are plenty of times when I thought that he could have been, should have been booked a lot differently. Certainly, this heel run and the heel, like everything after the heel turn, left a lot to be desired. That's actually a big story I'm working on for FightfulSelect.com, finding out some of the how and what regarding that. But I think that his heel turn should have happened, quite frankly, quite a long time ago. I wish we would have really gotten that run and really been able to see that. But what I like and respect about John Cena, one, that man took care of people who couldn't take care of themselves. It meant something to him to be the face of Make-A-Wish. It meant something to him to help people that couldn't help themselves. And I don't think that can be underscored enough. The influence that John Cena has on future generations of WWE wrestlers that are like, all right, now I need to go do that. Sick kids, need to go take care of them. Standing for that, that's something that you need to do, and it's become the norm. And as pessimistic as you can be about WWE's direction and their political affiliations and scandals in general, of which there are many, that is one thing that I am very glad that John Cena made the norm, is doing things like that. Let's talk about this match. Noise said somehow that bald man is the biggest heel in WWE instead of the guy that tapped out Cena. Well, Gunther was also plenty the heel here. Gunther gets the first entrance, obviously. An enormous F-U Gunther chance. It was a F-U Gunther chance, actually. But this is the audience that they always wanted for John Cena, right? This is the Vince McMahon dream audience for John Cena. They're chanting, "You still got it," at him. They're chanting, "Don't give up," at John Cena. They're booing his opponent. They're cheering Cena. This was what I expected out of Cena's final run, actually. I expected a lot of this. I expected the crowd to finally go for the ride of John Cena after all these years, because it's one of those things where you can dislike the in-ring work, you can dislike the booking and all that, but it's often hard to dislike the man. Of course, everybody can find a reason to dislike anybody, but it's hard to dislike and not respect the man for what he has done and, you know, the miles he's put in and the like. But this was the dream audience for WWE, and I rather enjoyed the match. All things considered, considering like with the duration of the match and what happened, it was my favorite match of the night. Gunther. So first off, John Cena came out and like shook hands with Kevin Owens, Haku, Mark Henry. I was like, do it, Mark. He didn't have the salmon jacket, though. You had Kurt Angle, Eve Torres, Michelle McCool, RVD, Sami Zayn, Trish, and Elias. I saw Kevin Owens sat next to Elias, and I was like, oh, no. But we got underway, and I'm very excited to tell you guys some of the things that I loved about this match, because I thought that psychologically it was a very good match, even though I know a lot of people do not like the finish of this. Filthy German suplex starts it out. And I mean, that's sort of been a John Cena kryptonite throughout his career, is the German suplex. He has been beaten to death by German suplexes over the course of his career. Like, it's been a go-to for people whooping that ass of John Cena. And that was a go-to for Gunther tonight. We had the STFU. Gunther gets right out, goes into the power bomb, but then he starts clotheslining the piss out of Cena. And listen, these days, like, you wouldn't have called Cena the typical sirloin beef sons of bitch, as we clarify them at Fightful, right? Like, you wouldn't have said that years and years ago. It'd be people a little bit bigger. But listen, John Cena is bigger than most guys now. I mean, he's bigger than most general humans anyway, but pro wrestlers, right? So he's getting some big meat just thrown in his head and face direction there. There was an interesting spot where Cena is going for the 5 moves of doom. I think Gunther forgot to get up in that moment. I think after the shoulder blocks, he was waiting for the fist drop, if you go back and watch. And then Cena's like, get up, which ironically enough was the only loud spot I heard him call, when the whole rap on Cena is how loud his spots are. But Cena hits AA, Gunther kicks out, Cena puts him through the table. I love that Cena busted out the diving leg drop, because that was a move that he picked up along the way when people were saying, man, you're doing the same stuff. We want to see you do something different. And I have never seen anybody do a diving leg drop like that. I mean, that's, let me tell you, that is one of the most unforgiving moves on your body. And it gets, you still got a chance as a result. But let me tell you a spot that I adored in this match. And as it happened, I didn't adore it. Gunther is on his back, and Cena is taking forever to set up the 5-knuckle shuffle. He's running around. He's looking. He's like, yeah, guys, you know what's coming. One more. It's the last time, guys. Gunther, former world champion, record-breaking IC champion, record-breaking like NXT UK champion, just laying there. I was like, I've always hated this. I hated it with the people's elbow, hated it with the worm, hated it with all that. And I hated it here until Gunther got up and booted him right in the face. Whipped his ass. I love that spot, because I always felt like it kind of, he never waited that long. He never waited this long. This was the longest one. It was egregiously long. If Cena would have hit this, I would have been like, damn, come on. But Gunther got up and beat that ass. Cena comes back, hits the AA, super AA rather. And it led to the famous, infamous boo yeah punches. Now, I don't know how many of you know this, but for years in WWE, John Cena was the only person allowed to do the boo yeah punches, to the point to where it was listed on a rule sheet, like a live event rule sheet for WWE. Do not do this unless you are Cena or are working with Cena. Otherwise, don't do it. Now, I'll tell you what I loved about this. It was an homage to a spot that he did far more throughout his career, and Gunther stopped that as well. Hits that big splash on him. Then we go into, gosh, I don't know if our producer Luis can find out how long this sleeper went in and out. But let me tell you, if Hogan and Andre and their bear hug was more like this that we saw, I certainly would look back on those matches more fondly. A sleeper is not a particularly exciting move. It's become a lot more exciting in more recent years, right? Also because wrestlers actually do it right. They'll put hooks in, they'll lace the body. It's not just holding somebody up with a guy's arms down. Listen, people watch MMA now. They know that you can just turn into it, roll through it, do any number of things. But this was John Cena getting his arm raised 2 times to the 3rd time. And Gunther beat that too. He beat the 5-knuckle shuffle. He beat the booyah. He beat the old, I'm going to raise his arm 3 times. Got through that too. There was an AA along the way. But Gunther ended up locking that in 3 times, I think, along the way. And then Cena is there with a bit of a smile on his face and just hits the old tap, tap, taparoo. And Gunther looked shocked. Gunther looked surprised. I'm not going to sit here and tell you guys, oh, this wasn't the plan. I'm just saying, if Gunther sold the hell out of being shocked, and Gunther, for, his talk of not being a sports entertainer, he's a wrestler. He's a phenomenal sports entertainer because he's a wrestler. That's one, I don't find him boring. I find him believable. I find him to exude the qualities of a champion. If you wanted him to be the logo of a title belt, I buy everything that he says. I buy everything that he does. I believe in what he does. There's nothing that feels pretend about him, even though he is a professional wrestler. He is out there acting. And his reaction to that John Cena tap out made me go, oh, damn. Maybe John Cena pulled an old Bryan Danielson and just made somebody else win. I thought this was fantastic. I know it wasn't for a lot of people, but it certainly was for me. Certainly was for me. I want to hear your feedback. Luis told me that Gunther locked in the sleeper for 7 freaking minutes. Well, my friends, I've got something that's going to help you lock in a sleeper for a good, solid 8 hours every night. It's our friends at Helix Sleep. Go to helixsleep.com/Fightful. Use the code Fightful. I want to tell you a little bit about them. Almost 6 years ago now, it was during the pandemic. I needed a new mattress. I was sleeping on a slab of memory foam, and it was just wrecking my back. I've had back injuries in the past, and I needed something better. But it was the pandemic. I was like, how on earth am I going to find the right mattress for me during all this? Places weren't open, and I didn't really want to go roll around on a mattress that somebody else had been. So I Googled top-rated mattresses, and I found Helix Sleep before we even worked with them. At the time, there were over 30,000 5-star reviews. Now there are over 50,000. I bought one. I took their online quiz. I got matched up to the Dusk Lux model, and I loved it. Got the best sleep of my life as a result. Now, you take this online quiz, and they will match you up with the mattress that works perfect for you. They've got ones for plus-size sleepers. They got ones that cool you down, ones that align your spine. They got kids' mattresses. They got mattress toppers, everything. I got matched up to the Dusk Lux model, and I loved it. I hit them up, and I was like, guys, this changed things for me. And they said, let's work together. So we have been ever since. And now you can go to helixsleep.com/Fightful. You also get that risk-free trial. So for some reason you don't like it, they will come and pick up the mattress for you. Invest in your sleep. They've got flexible financing plans for everyone. Trust me, it is worth it to invest in your sleep. And let me tell you, John Cena invested in his sleep tonight, buddy, because he got put in a sleeper hold. Shout out to Lou Ferrigno. I'll put him in a sleeper. Out. The crowd was not happy about this. Crowd chanted bullshit. Oh, man. Crowd chanted bullshit, and they booed Triple H heavily. Nathan says, the way the crowd reacted really bummed me out. The ending wasn't great, but it still sucked to see the crowd booing. So John Cena taps out for the first time in over 20 years, and it's right after the crowd goes, don't give up. Don't give up. Woo! That one got me, man. Now, if you all heard me talk about John Cena's heel run, and you've even been longtime viewers of this show, you know how much I hate all you people promos. And by that, I mean people, heels that come out and say, all you people. And they've gotten rid of it the last several years. But if there's one guy who could cut that promo as a heel and it be believable, it's John Cena. Because we were terrible to him. The audience was terrible to him. He was a great guy, and we took him for granted. And now he's getting cheered during his comeback run. All right. But the crowd feels how the crowd feels, man. And the crowd wanted John Cena to win. Now, here's what I see happening. Gunther just beat Goldberg in his final match. He just beat John Cena in his final match. Chris Jericho might be coming back. Brock Lesnar, I think Cena spilled the beans that maybe he retires in Minneapolis. That's a TBD. Gunther was supposed to face Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 2 years ago before the lawsuit dropped, which again, can't believe Brock Lesnar's back without that being squared away, but he is. Gunther putting him away would be great. AJ Styles is going to retire. Naturally, this can all work into a feud with, quite frankly, any older wrestler. It can be a badge of honor to be retired by Gunther. Listen, man, y'all know me. I will go as far. Where's Honky Tonk Man? Can he take one chop? You're retired. Goodbye. Put him out to pasture, too. Can Stevie Richards take a chop right now? Is he okay? On SmackDown. 1, 2, 3. Retire people who are already retired. Both the headbangers. Catch them in midair with each hand. Give me all of it. I want all of it. I would love it. Also, I mean, listen, there's a lot of people that are about that age. And I know that people look at Gunther and they say, oh my gosh, he's 38. He is the youngest world champion that is on the WWE's roster from a main roster perspective. They've had no world champions born after 1987 on the men's side. Will says, Gunther looking at AJ, Brock, and Jericho's last match. That's what I'm thinking too. Parker Hines says, now that is all said and done, would you rather have Cena's or Sting's retirement match and run? Ooh. Damn, man. That Cena send-off was really nice. Cena competed in front of full houses every single time around. The send-off, Cena. The match, Sting. The Sting retirement match was one of the coolest things I've ever witnessed live in my life. And being able to do that with his sons. Won a Fightful award, by the way, for Gear of the Year. Fightful awards coming soon. Little plug for that. Fightful Select subscribers get to vote and open-ended vote, but we do have free voting coming up right after this show. They will be weighted, and it won't have all the topics, but Fightful Select subscribers do get a bonus vote along the way. So keep your eye on that on FightfulSelect.com on the free tier. That Sting one, special, man. Special. But I mean, honestly, that John Cena heel turn in a vacuum, that moment, I don't know if I've ever quite witnessed anything like that. Steven Stepp says, honestly, I think my love for wrestling just died. There are going to be people whose audience, like, who do not consume the product as a result. Praytech says, Cena is a GOAT for putting over Gunther. Great to hear Cole saying professional wrestling beats sports entertainment. A dig at Vince. I don't think it was a dig at Vince, who, by the way, they showed in archived footage in the John Cena tribute video at the end. But to the best of my knowledge, Vince McMahon was not there. Donald Trump was not there. Had some people saying, wrestling reporters. seem to know. Not Andrew Baydala. I love Andrew Baydala. Some dork on Facebook was like, Sean Ross Sapp apparently is going to know if Donald Trump isn't there. Well, Donald Trump was at the goddamn Army-Navy game today, barely flipping a coin. So, no. Donald Trump is very much I already did something today guy. So, no, he wasn't not going to come here. Eloquent says, overall, I rate his retirement tour a D+. I would give it higher than that, and I'll tell you why. The heel turn was iconic, even though the execution was terrible. I love that he put somebody over at the end. The AJ Styles match was special. And the Cody match was one of the best WWE matches I've ever seen in my entire life. My favorite match of the year was Cody Rhodes and John Cena. That's how I felt. Akoma Mikey, my good friend, says, last of the Wrestling Mount Rushmore. He was my Hulk Hogan. Superman reminder to do the right thing. Hashtag thank you, Cena. We love you, Sean. Well, I love you too. Thank you so much. It's nice to hear things like that. I appreciate you, my friend. Hopefully our Bengals win tomorrow as well. Mega738 says they played Cena's last match at NXT live show for us after the main event. Kids were disappointed, but I understand wrestlers going out with an L. That's very cool that they did that. Effectively did like a closed circuit type of thing. I feel bad for the indies running tonight, man. Like, my God, but that's very cool that they did that. Viral moments, news, sports, and learn, says Cena with a half-ass smile, then taps. What a joke. What did you all think about the smile? Like the little giggle there. At the, it wasn't a giggle. A smile crept on his face, and it was just like, I'm done. This guy is better than me type of thing. To me, I just kind of felt like it was a perfect ending for him. Now, clearly there is a lesson to be learned. And no, really, never give up. But damn, man, like sometimes you need a sad ending to a story, right? Like I found it was perfect. I see what Trash Trouble says. He was at peace. He was. It's like losing somebody and they're like, it's okay. I'm ready to go. He was ready to go. You can tell he has been ready to go for quite some time. Stephen Bradley says perfect main event, tough crowd, but right call, in my opinion. I got to agree. I think it was the right call because this does so much for Gunther. It really does. Assuming, and boy, is that a big assumption, that WWE does it correctly. Because the old bald gentleman in the ring has not been doing great of late. Chico Bonbon says, I think people were upset with the execution, not the L. I think they were upset with the L. I'll ask you all this. Do you think that the crowd would have responded better if like it was a powerbomb win? Because they're not supposed to cheer Gunther winning this. Gunther's supposed to emerge from this a super heel. Now, I posted a short recently. I thought there was a real possibility that John Cena wins this, waves the flag, USA, USA. But when they didn't lean as much into like country and Washington, D.C. and all that, I was like, okay, they're not doing that. But I thought it was a real possibility. And I'm okay with like the weak tap because it was like a resigned, damn it. I didn't want him to violently like, he knew it was it. He wasn't living to fight another day. When you tap like that, you're tapping urgently. You're like, I don't want to break something. Don't want to go out. I got to live to fight another day. He wasn't living to fight another day. His days are done. He's gone. It's over. West Rose says Jericho needs to stay away from Gunther and Saturday night's main event since that seems to be the legend killing ground. I think that's the place where he should go. Listen, I see a run for Chris Jericho. If I were Chris Jericho, what I would do is come back for the Rumble, do a Mania run, go over to AAA, do a 2 or 3 month run at the top of AAA for Triple Mania, go to TNA, do a 2 or 3 month run there on AMC, lead it into Bound for Glory, come back to WWE in November, December, go right back into the Rumble, do Saudi Mania. make that money. If I were Chris Jericho, that's what I would do. And then after all that, maybe go back for an AEW retirement match. That man has a lot of options, whether or not y'all want to believe it or not. Got a lot of options. And Simmons says this was the right move. People online are saying, oh, he should have passed out. You don't want to lose the oxygen to the brain, especially Cena, who's in Hollywood. This is why the passing thing must go. I mean, I don't care about that. I've watched people get choked out a million times and it doesn't affect them like that. But to me, I think the pass out is overdone, man. I think it's super overdone. And I don't need to see that. I don't need to see them continue to go to that well over and over and over again. After this, John Cena, he gets the titles put on him by Cody and CM Punk, which he didn't seem to see coming. And that was a nice touch. I liked that. And he left. So he left his sneakers. I was really wishing he would wear the Reebok pumps. That's what got me into sneakers. But he put his shoes, his wristbands, his armbands in the ring. There was a guy going, take off the jorts. And I thought he was going to. He should have left his jorts in the ring. Listen, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to see Cena cheeks or anything. But should he not have left the jorts in the ring? He should have left the jorts in the ring. Back when Josh Harrelson of the Kentucky Wildcats left the Kentucky Wildcats, he was nicknamed Jorts. And we put Jorts on a flagpole and put it at half mast because Jorts had left. Shout out to him getting drafted in the NBA, but should have left the Jorts in the ring. Couple other notes. Green shirt guy became green Cena shirt guy. That is the ultimate display of respect. Hey, listen, I know there's a lot of like casual, never would pay for a dirt sheet guys here. That's cool, whatever. I appreciate you guys watching, even if you don't subscribe to Fightful Select. But you boys at FightfulSelect.com broke the news like months ago that green shirt guy gets his stuff through On Location. He does pay for those tickets. I don't want to like put too much out there about him, but he does work in like real estate, and I understand he does well. But good, you know what? That was a sign of respect right there. And I'm so interested in the Gunther future. Gunther is going to aura farm off of all of these old mans. And listen, guys, I got to wait for y'all to aura farm with Aura Frames. That's right, Aura Frames. If you're a last minute shopper like me, you know the feeling. Shelves are empty. Ideas are running low. Aura Frames is a solution with a gift that feels personal. What do you always struggle to shop for? Maybe a gift that's just special or one that's not too over the top. Aura Frames has you covered. Here's what you do. Buy Aura Frames and you can upload unlimited photos and videos. You just download the Aura app and connect to Wi-Fi. You can preload photos before it ships or preload a message before it shipped. And here's the cool thing. You can continue to add photos and videos all year long. If you want to troll your buddy, you can do that. You can put like the fantasy football score right up there all year long. Share photos and videos effortlessly. And it's got this great gift box. Every frame comes packaged in a premium gift box with no price tag. Now, how about this one? $35 off Aura's best-selling Carver matte frames, named #1 by Wirecutter. Use the promo code FIGHTFUL at checkout when you go to auraframes.com. That's AURA frames.com, promo code FIGHTFUL. These sell out fast. Order yours now. Get it in time for the holidays. I am so excited. Listen, my mom don't watch this show, but I'm giving her this one. I am so excited about it. auraframes.com. I got to find something to work a 6-7 in, right? I got Aura farming. Pretty pumped about that. Guys, we are going to continue to talk about John Cena throughout the duration of this show. If you're here watching, leave a thumbs up. We are on podcast platforms everywhere as well, so please check us out. A couple other things. Fightful.com. Usually when you see like a quote on Facebook, on Twitter, usually one of our guys listened to that podcast, transcribed it. Go to Fightful.com, support that incredible work for free. I know we're known as like the paywall site. We have more free content than any other wrestling website as well. Articles, interviews, YouTube stuff, more than any other wrestling website. Terry Allen Jr. says SmackDown versus Raw 2011 video game, Road to WrestleMania mode. John Cena was among the picks. Do you remember, Sean? I wish Batista hugged him in the ring. I would have loved to have seen Batista there as well. And I do remember that game. WWE 13 was probably my favorite of that era. Although SmackDown versus Raw was at 06 or 07. Ooh, buddy. Go back and look at that Here Comes the Pain roster, though. Whew, next level. Next freaking level, guys. So keep those super chats rolling in and out for John Cena. Again, we will happily go back and talk about this. A couple other notes. Jesse Ventura is hilarious, guys. Hilarious. He's like, yeah, John Cena won the title 17 times, but that means he lost it 17 times. Who would brag about that? And I'm like, okay, well, there's a reason they've got him on the pre-show now. We had John Bernthal, who was the Punisher, or Kurt Angle's like cousin, nephew-in-law, whatever. Good to see him there. Tyrese Halliburton, Metro Boomin, Chuck Zito from Sons of Anarchy. That's cool to see. We also had this very interesting spot. We did not have my bookie AG odds, but John Cena, had Miz like calling him out for months and months and months. You had Joe Hendry calling him out for months and months and months. And neither one got to face John Cena, but Ron Killings did, and he made an appearance as well. Miz came out in his gear, and I was like, what is this? And the Ron Cena version of Ron Killings comes out and says, I saw you take that opportunity from somebody else, and I know who it is. And you could see on the paper, it said Joe Hendry. And Miz says his name, and Joe Hendry appears, and Joe Hendry got a fantastic reaction. Here's a little FightfulSelect.com scoops for you guys. Little taste of what you all can get if you pay for wrestling news. Joe Hendry was supposed to be under TNA contract for like several more months. And earlier in 2025, Shawn Michaels was like, bro, we will buy you out of that deal. We will get you out of there. And by Bound for Glory, Joe Hendry had finished up. That was like my first hint that he was like under WWE contract. Not only was arguably, I wouldn't say he's a bigger star than Matt and Jeff Hardy, but like from a visibility standpoint, their biggest star was not booked for Bound for Glory, and he wasn't at Bound for Glory. And then I found out around then, no, he has signed with WWE, and it's on a main roster level deal. Now, for those of you who don't normally watch the show, what I mean by that is the WWE minimum on the main roster is $350,000. He's above that. Like Jordan Grace is too. Don't know about Ethan Page, Ricky Saints. I would assume they are. But Joe Hendry beats the Miz. Ron Killings hits the double punch on him and all that stuff. And crowd loved it, man. This was harmless. I thought it was a good spot. It's a way to get two people that have a lot of history with John Cena on the show. And Joe Hendry on the show, who has been begging to be a part of this Cena retirement tour, was shocked that he wasn't in the tournament at all. But I was shocked he wasn't. But I thought this was harmless, man. Crowd loved it. So I got no problem with this at all, man. Got no problem with that. You know what? A few more Aura farmers right there. We got, by God. Oh, boy. So, I believe I'll ask Luis who the my bookie betting favorite was for Cody Rhodes and Femi, because technically Cody Rhodes won via DQ. This is a match who, if you listened to my shows over the last few months, I would have been completely fine with Femi winning the Royal Rumble, going to WrestleMania, and beating Cody for the title. That's how much I think WWE needs to firmly establish that he is a guy. And I'll bring up this talking point for those of you that are new. There are some people that really, really benefit from when you just show people, no, they're the guy, right? Brock Lesnar is one. He debuted right after WrestleMania in 2002. Within 2.5 months, he won King of the Ring. Within 6 months, 4.5 months, he was the world champion, because there was no money in Brock Lesnar chasing. Alberto Del Rio, to this day, gets bookings because of how well WWE booked him. I remember watching Alberto Del Rio when he was fighting MMA in a mask and getting KTFO'd by a Mirko Cro Cop head kick. I did not envision that man becoming a hugely pushed WWE wrestler, but hugely pushed immediately, to the point to where a WWE staffer accidentally put on his profile, "Is this okay? I know he's supposed to be a big deal immediately." They had him win the Royal Rumble, and he became a world champion in very short order. They were very specifically telling you he is a guy. The Shield, they very quickly told you these three are together, but they are top guys. Top guys. I think you need to make sure that some people are seen as top guys immediately. That's why I'm not keen on them waiting on Braun Breaker. He's already had the IC title run. I didn't see the kayfabe point of him joining Seth Rollins. Didn't see the point of him joining that as well. But somebody says, how do I send a super chat? If you're on Twitch, just go to humperchats.com. It's a Streamlabs platform. Now, do I think that this match showed that they view Femi in a high regard? Yes. But this finish is lame as hell, man. Really fun match. It was only about 9 minutes. Cody Rhodes was the my bookie favorite, so they were right on the money on this one too. Oba hit a fantastic uppercut across the table. Lots of power moves. And Cody Rhodes feels like he can take that and give that as well. Like, I believe everything Cody Rhodes does as well. And then Drew comes in, and Oba takes him out, and it's a DQ. Cody got busted open as well. Cody holds Oba's hand up, and I'm just like, we all saw this coming from a mile away. And I know that people will say, oh, well, this was the right call. You didn't have to book it. You did not have to book it. You could not have done Drew McIntyre and Ricky Saints against Femi and Cody Rhodes. Couldn't have done that. You couldn't have had Cody raising his hand that way. I thought it was a lazy, uninspired finish that forever erodes the first time these two guys touch. I used to love a good first-time match being a big-time moment. Now you have so many instances where people run into each other backstage and they do the glare. They're in the Royal Rumble and people, they're looking at each other and they're looking around at the people. Yeah, you want to see us interact? Huh? They shoulder block once and then they spill out. It is so often booked on the prospect of the future instead of the talent of the present. Oba's ready. Ricky Saints is ready. Trick Williams has been ready. Javon Evans is clearly ready. They don't have this problem with the women's division, right? In fact, I think they may have put the title on Stephanie too early. I think they could have had her chase it. Tiffany Stratton got that thing quick, but that's because they thought she was going to be a heel and people would chase her. People just liked her so much. Jade's been around, what, a couple years? She's champion. That used to be kind of the norm. Cena was like 2.5, 3 years. Batista, 2.5, 3 years. That's fairly common, but like, you don't have to book something if you don't want a loser. Like, and it's okay for people to lose matches. It's all right. I constantly bring this up, often attributed to Randy Savage, when they would say, Randy, you're going to lose this match. Do you want to do a schmoz? And you go, no, I'm good enough. I'm over enough to lose. Win them in the ring, lose them in the ring. If you're good enough, you stay over. Now, that's not verbatim, but that's what I've always heard that Randy Savage would tell people. He wasn't a big guy on like that type of finish. And those of you that were watching wrestling throughout the 80s and the 90s, can you ever remember a time, except maybe the very end, where Randy Savage wasn't over? Where Randy Savage wasn't a guy where people went, damn, look at him. Because he was good enough to stay over. Cody Rhodes is good enough to stay over. You kidding me? That man, super over. Oba Femi could, again, just do Cody and Oba versus Drew and Ricky Saints. I'm sure Cody would have loved to have worked with Ricky Saints as well. That's his buddy. Ryan Cicchini says, I get the Coda Cody. I keep calling him Obi. Oh my God. Did you all see my autocorrect last night? So I don't work the Friday night shows, so I tweet them from my phone. Posted the link and I typed in Oba confronts Cody, but it auto-corrected to Obama confronts Cody. I thought that idiots online that don't ever let me have fun and don't ever let me breathe were going to go off on that one, but everybody was pretty good-spirited about it. And I'm like, could you imagine? Cody, I am afraid your term limit as champion has expired. If you smell what Barack is cooking, give me that, man. Give me that. I'll take it. Then CM Punk runs out and helps him because they're both from Chicago. Hell yeah, brother. Ryan Cicchini says, I get the Oba Cody tease, but it was safe. I agree. John Wick GM says, I want Oba versus Lesnar for that retirement match. I would be completely fine with that as well. I would be completely fine with that. Just another Vic says, way more annoyed by the Cody Oba finish than Cena tapping out. He went like a pro and Gunther's stock jumps. Here's how I view the Gunther thing, Vic. Gunther has been world champion. He has been intercontinental champion. Didn't he win King of the Ring as well? Am I remembering that correctly? Am I crazy? He's done all these things. So what can you do after? You don't want to go right back to that well, do you? You want to go right back to him being world champion? I don't. And I love Gunther. He's one of my favorite wrestlers. But like you've got to have things. And with so many championships in pro wrestling, like AEW, New Japan, WWE, so many damn title belts, CMLL, way too many. You've got to have good supplemental stories. And to me, Gunther being like, I've done this and I've done that. I'm going to do some stuff that I haven't done now. And this is something that never ends. Like a title reign can end, but me ending careers, I can do that as long as I want. And I agree. King Slayer says Mania 42 should be Braun and Oba. What Mania 21, or what for them, what 21 was for Cena Batista. Belt up both. Braun versus Roman, World Heavyweight Championship. Oba versus Cody, WWE title. King Slayer, my friend, I have been begging for this one for quite a while. I think WWE is actually in a very good place with where they can go with these. I do not want them to go to Roman Cody 3. I do not want that. All due respect to Cody and Roman. They're fantastic performers, but they're fantastic performers that would better be served with CM Punk facing Cody or Oba facing Cody and Braun Breaker facing Roman Reigns. Do we all not want to see Braun Breaker and Roman Reigns hitting the ropes about 234 miles an hour and spearing each other at the same time? Am I crazy to think that Cody Rhodes cutting a scathing promo on CM Punk saying, I am more punk than you have ever been. I am everything you claim to be. I just happen to wear a suit so people don't believe it. While you were sitting on your ass, I left and helped start a company that you tried to destroy. And then you came running back here and now you're trying to take my spot. I want to see that. Or I want to see Oba eliminate 27 of 30 people, 27 to 29 people from the Rumble, maybe all of them, go to WrestleMania, beat the piss to the point where Cody's down on the ground shivering, and Cody's got to overcome that. Because there is money in chasing Oba Femi, and Cody Rhodes can do that too. Fallen Spartan says, BS finish to the Cody match. Yeah. Kyle the Ginger says, the second they started mentioning Cena never tapped in a long time, I knew he was going to lose. To me, it didn't quite telegraph it as much. But I was still surprised to see it. Noise says, I think the crowd were upset that John gave up instead of passing out. I saw it as him accepting his time was up. It was. That's exactly how I saw it, Noise. I saw it as this being it. Him knowing, all right, I got to go. I got to go. Well, my friends, if your time is up, but you want more time, maybe you're trying to overcome a sleeper. Maybe you're trying to have that main event performance and you're looking for a little more gas in that tank. Blue Chew and the code FIGHTFUL will help you. It's got the same active ingredients you've always loved, but in a chewable form that gets into your system faster. And when the mood strikes, or even when the mood doesn't strike, and you just want that performance. Well, let me tell you, you can take a bunch of AAs, you can take a bunch of sleepers, but you'll be smiling. You'll just be sitting there like Cena at the end by the time this one's over. Here's how it works. You do the online consultation, and if approved, Blue Chew ships straight to your door. No awkward in-person doctor's visits, no waiting in line at the pharmacy, just some main event dong slinging. Best thing, it arrives discreetly. But I got to be honest, word's going to spread. If you got the old-timey mailman that still comes to your door, he's going to hear you coming through somebody else's. I don't want to go there. But the mailman's going to be like, oh my gosh, what's going on here? I got to tell the neighbors. And the neighbors are going to be like, you haven't heard? He's been slanging that thing. He's been making sure that his time is now. Thanks to Blue Chew and the code FIGHTFUL. You get that first shipment free. Just pay $5 shipping. Got to pay off the mailman. That's hush money. You know what I'm talking about? Make sure that you go on last with Blue Chew and the code FIGHTFUL. Steven, we did not miss your chat. For those that don't know, we read them as they come up throughout the matches specifically. So yours is still on there. Don't worry, my friend. Sol Ruca, who I interviewed this week, defeated Bayley. This could have been a little bit longer, but this was a good, fast-paced match. I thought all things considered with the finish, time, this one worked out really well. I didn't feel like the tag match was long enough. I didn't like the finish of the Oba Cody match. I actually had a little bit of a problem with the finish of this, but I understand why they did it. So Bayley is out there. She gives Eve Torres a hug and Trish Stratus a hug. But we found out that Sol Ruca is the sin emoji from WrestleMania 39. Cinnamon Toast Crunch sin emoji. Hell yeah, brother. Lyra and Zarya are out there with them as well. There was a little botch on one of the pin attempts, but that was the low point of the match, and that wasn't bad at all. Sol did that beautiful cartwheel DDT. I loved the Soul Snatcher counter that Bayley did as well. And she hit the pin so much that Sol could lean her body and get her feet on the ropes, which was really, really good. Then Soul does the Soul Snatcher, but Bayley rolls away and drags her into the ring. By the way, Luis, please check on this. Make sure that we got that gentleman's super chat. So Soul Ruca doesn't get the pin there. Bayley ends up kicking out. And then they go through a couple roll-ups, and then Soul Ruca gets the roll-up win, and she's shocked. She's amazed. I understand that they wanted like the shocked face and oh my God. And that's how you do the roll-up type of thing. I do think it would have meant a lot for the Soul Snatcher to just be the finish. I'm okay with it because I understand the point that they were getting to by the oh my God type of thing. And boy, is Bayley a giver back. You know what I mean? Like, we had girls from the Lodestone camp telling FightfulSelect.com all week how great it was, how positive it was. Big fan of this result as well. Because again, Bayley is made. She's set. This was a good opportunity to show people who Soul Ruca was, and I thought they did that here. I thought they showed more of who Soul Ruca was than they showed who Leon Slater, Javon Evans, or Oba Femi were, if that makes sense. I feel like we got a more complete view of her than we did the other people that were put on that spot from NXT. And I thought this was good. I enjoyed this. Yeah, Stephen Bradley says, perfect main event, tough crowd, but right call. We did read that one, Stephen. But I agree. And the sentiment seems to be a lot different online, right? Seems to be a lot different. Soul Ruca, by the way, was the MyBookie AG favorite to win that. So again, right on the money, these gentlemen at MyBookie AG. Anderson D says, first time sub, years listening, long time 30-year WDB fan, love Gunther winning. Well, first off, thank you very much for subscribing. Says Cena breaking the fourth wall isn't bad, but smiling in a chokehold was. I wish he broke out of the STF. Gunther fights out, elbows, then chokes Cena. Says I'm sorry at the camera and taps. Him throwing the I'm sorry and then tapping, I think that would have been a good touch. Him smiling, I think, was him being at peace. But I do like your idea, Anderson, of him being able to do that and being like, I'm sorry, I have to. Because Gunther's, at this point, Gunther is just better than him. Did you all see that brilliant piece of business that John Cena talked about? One of the rare good interview answers that he had. It was on the Bill Simmons podcast, and he talked about getting AJ Styles to come up with a story for their feud. And John Cena said that he looked up every AJ Styles interview that he could, and he couldn't find anything negative that AJ had ever said about him, even though, you know, a lot of people had said negative stuff about Cena comparing him to AJ. AJ never said that. And Cena said, sure, title, sure, for who's best, but I need something else. And AJ Styles came back to him and he said, well, this is AJ talking, not Alan Jones, but we started at the same time, and my character would feel that if he ever got the opportunity you got, not only would he be as good as you, he'd be better because you're just charismatic and I'm better in the ring. That's when you listen at that point, I'm sure those two gentlemen had no confidence in the creative that WWE was going to put forth. So that's why they got to do that. And I thought that was a fascinating piece of insight there. Also, you mentioned the elbows, Anderson. Oh, those elbows were filthy. Listen, your boy grew up on Gary Goodridge crucifixing somebody and crack, crack, crack. Good stuff, man. Anderson says, happy to make these donations. Had a Facebook WDB RPG group 15 years ago and gave up after making no money. LOL. Love what you do. Fightful helped me through the past years. Cried with this match. Despite the ending, I like Triple H. Why stand on the apron? Fans chant, ruin the end. Because Triple H loves being in front of the camera. He does. Like it. I don't think it's out of turn or controversial for me to say that Triple H just loves the spotlight, man. And by the way, thank you for these donations. I know I get some flack for protecting our paywalled content online, but we are 90% funded by an audience, meaning YouTube stuff and Patreon stuff. Sponsors help a little bit. We don't make anything off clicks. We don't make anything off credit. So in order to bring you all what we do, I appreciate the first off, the Fightful Select subscriptions and the super chats. Now, I will ask Luis to put that back up there because I was not done addressing it. But I mean, listen, for a lot of people, this was such an emotional night, and I didn't quite get to the point of tears. But man, as watching this, I was thinking about, like, man, my grandmother loved John Cena, loved that, and I mean, WWE RPG groups. So I used to do e-feds back in the day, way back in the day. Still got a couple friends from back then, but I do cameos, and all of it goes to charity. Not trying to get you all to pay to do videos just for nothing, but e-feds are probably, I wouldn't even say probably, they're definitely like my number one thing I do cameos for. Like, people will have me break news for their e-feds, which I think is really awesome. I'm flattered by it. I think it's awesome. I'll tell you what else is awesome. Had somebody giving me flack. They're like, oh my gosh, you don't want your paywall info out there immediately, but you promote VPNs. So does Stephanie McMahon. Even Stephanie McMahon thinks you should be using a VPN. Why? Well, because for Raw, you got to have Netflix. NXT, you got to have CW. Thursdays, what's on Thursdays now? AMC for TNA. There's Max, HBO, all that stuff. But like just WWE, you got to have Netflix, you got to have CW, USA, Peacock, all that. Or you can get nordvpn.com/Fightful. Get a great deal, plus 4 months free and a 30-day money-back guarantee. And it averages out to $2.88 a month. That's less than a Peacock subscription. And you might say, Sean, Saturday night's main event isn't on Netflix overseas. Oh, but it's on YouTube, my friends. So you can watch it on YouTube. All you do is download the app after you subscribe, change your virtual location, and then watch whatever content you want to watch via Netflix or YouTube. And virtually everybody has a Netflix subscription at this point. WWE PLE is on Netflix overseas. I know that some people were having issues today. They're like, oh my gosh, I can't watch Collision live in the UK, even though it's on earlier. Well, you could have watched it on Max earlier. If you're overseas and you still got to pay for UFC pay-per-views, you can go get Paramount Plus over here in the States. It is a Swiss Army knife of internet usage. And this is just the basic $2.88 a month on average tier that I'm telling you about. There are a plethora of more tiers that go all the way up to cloud storage, scam call blocking, all that. NordVPN.com/Fightful. I am so proud to continue working with them through 2026. Oh, man. AJ Styles and Dragon Lee defeated Leon Slater and Javon Evans. This did not get enough time. Great for what it was. Hated to see that AJ Styles botch. Slater hit that 450 and a lot of knees came down. A lot of knees came down with that one, but this was good, but it was way too quick, man. Way too quick. Styles hits the Styles Clash, shares some words with Leon Slater, and they all raise each other's hands, but I wanted like a good 4 more minutes out of this, man. Like, and it was so funny because I had some people pop up when this match was announced, and they're like, see, Dark State ruining that Bound for Glory match was worth it. This was not planned back then, guys. Come on now. They could have still done this. Leon Slater and Javon Evans could have had a match of the year candidate at Bound for Glory with a satisfying ending. And they could have still been like, man, we should team up, and still done this. But boy, is it ever clear that WWE wants Leon Slater Our dude Corey Brennan on FightfulSelect.com has reported all throughout the year. Leon Slater's deal is up next year. But man, they are courting him. Can you tell they like him? Yeah, they do. AJ Styles, listen, man, guy hardly ever messes up. What are you going to do? It happens. It's a bummer. It's so funny that Triple H got more UF'd up chance than AJ did. And Triple H ain't wrestled in years. Stephen Bradley says, could AJ pinning Leon lead to a match on the AMC debut? I would like to think so. I think I would love to see AJ do one more TNA match along his tour, and I think that's a good one. I think that would be a really great one. And I mean, we couldn't have cut like one of the Cena tributes out of this. Like one of them they replayed. They showed some of these multiple times. Am I crazy? Did they not show Jimmy Kimmel telling John Cena he could eat half a Skittle now, like 2 or 3 times? This did not get enough time. Triple H is on the scrum and said he is disappointed. He thought they'd be so much louder to the UF'd up chants. Then there were AE dub chants after that. Yikes. That's feeling like 2019, 2021 era there. Oh, guys, we are about to wrap up. I just want to say thank you. I know a lot of you are trying us out for the first time. I know a lot of you might have preconceived notions about Fightful or myself. And like I said, we are known as the paywall because of FightfulSelect.com. But again, we have more free content than any other wrestling site. Free articles, free interviews, free podcasts, free videos, all that good stuff. Not just here. We have it on Fightful Overbooked, our sister channel. Dare I say the best wrestling morning show in the business. Go check them out. We have a Clips channel, Fightful Scraps. Please check that out. I am on Facebook debunking news. You might say, Sean, why do you need to debunk stuff on Facebook? You would be shocked at how many things people believe. We run a debunkathon every Friday on FightfulSelect.com. That's our premium service. I've talked about that here and there, but right now it is $5.99 a month. Price is going to go up in 2026. Go ahead and lock in your year-long deal. You might say, Sean, why would I ever pay for wrestling news? Because there is not a single aggregator I haven't had to cover. And if you just want to cover support original coverage, but I'll give you a little rundown of that. Every single day we have exclusive news on pro wrestling at FightfulSelect.com. I don't believe any other website has had exclusive news every day for a month straight. We've had it every day for 5 years straight. And I know that sounds dramatic, but we do. Every single day we've got a Select Answers article. We've got Q&As from me every week. I'm dropping one tomorrow. We've got Wrestle Votes that has joined the staff. Every Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern, we've got Wrestle Votes live where you can ask questions live. Every Thursday, they've got their breaking news show, Wrestle Votes Radio. They had a bonus Cena show this week. You might say, I don't know. It's still not for me. Every other week, we have Ask Grapsody. Q&A with a couple of the most brilliant gentlemen in wrestling media, Phil and Reg. Oh, well, that's not enough. Well, maybe you think I'm a little too nice. Alex Palowski has Sour Graps, including a bonus review of this right now. He reviews Raw, he reviews SmackDown, more podcasts for you. You might say, Sean, that's not enough podcasts for me. Well, in 2026, I am bringing my personal prediction show, which are usually got a little insight in them. Betting tips, those will be exclusive to Fightful Select. You might say, Sean, that's not enough. You don't talk enough about the actual wrestling. I've got SRS 10 coming, a monthly show where we watch along with matches that I have rated 10 out of 10. I don't do public match ratings much, but every month we are going to watch along with the actual video, a match I've rated 10 out of 10. You want more? Jeremy Lambert's got a show coming next month as well. We're full of it. How about this? Discord, exclusive Discord access, which now contribute to my notes for these shows. It is important to me to have an as accessible of a website as possible. And again, I know that there is always a skepticism of the dirt sheets and wrestling media, but we go very Q&A heavy for a reason, because I can get all the stories that I want and post all those, but I want to find out things specifically that you guys want to find out. So that's what we do at FightfulSelect.com. I hope you guys will give us a shot. And if you don't, I still appreciate you anyway. You can consume our content at Fightful or here on YouTube, and we would greatly appreciate it. Leave us a nice review. That's the longest straight plug I've ever done. But listen, this is one of the biggest shows we've ever done. Mr. Acosta says, can't believe how people mad are about the end. Well, I'm mad that we are at the end of this show, guys. I've had a good time talking with you guys tonight. Hope you guys will stick around and check out. I'll be back here Monday for our post-Raw review. And we're here every night. NXT, Dynamite, Collision, SmackDown, TNA. We're like the only place with a TNA post show. I want to say thank you all so much. Thank you to our great team. Thank you to Luis. I want to shout out our social media team as well, who did an incredible job posting moments from Cena's career. Just did really, really good. And I want to shout out all of you for tuning in and joining us. Luis, I believe I just got that one, friend. Until next time, we're out.